Right, so there's no point mincing my words. We've hit a point where we have hit a point where I have to declare insolvency. So don't want anybody to panic, but in order to do things legal, ethical and moral, and be able to deal straight, I need to be able to follow things in as much of a correct order as I can. And the first order of business, legally, is that I must declare insolvency. Now, there is a complete grey area as to what a declaration of insolvency is, and that's not for me to get into. It's my interpretation of where we are that is important. So, as of this moment, I have to declare that we are insolvent. We are in an insolvent situation. Now, does that mean we're going to go bankrupt? No, it doesn't. Does it mean that we're going to go under and everybody's going to lose their money? No, it doesn't. It means that we are in an insolvent situation, and I'll explain in a bit about an insolvent situation. The important thing is, I've been here before. I'm quite wily. I have experience of being on the receiving end of bankruptcy. John has experience of being in the bankruptcy industry from a point of view of taking people through bankruptcy. We know enough about bankruptcy between us and insolvency between us to be able to stave off what some might consider to be the inevitable for quite some time yet. There are important things that we need to cover and pay for in order to keep going. I'll cover those. We're not going anywhere. Now, I was only talking to one of my investors this morning, and I'm sorry for that, Pete. I couldn't divulge anything at that time because I need to be able to collate a lot of stuff together, and I need to be able to put it in a way that I tell everybody at the same time. So this is going to freak a lot of investors out, and it's going to freak out people that we owe money to, i.e. that have got coins on advance order. I will cover all that. So again, no need to freak out. I've learned an awful lot in my time, not just about buying and selling, but about the complications that come along with it, being in business, one thing and another. I can tell you, you can research it yourself. I often talk about the Amazon story, and Amazon, they traded insolvently for several years. At one point, they were making a $20 million loss every quarter, but they managed to trade out of it. So, and I'm a fighter. I don't give up that easy, as a lot of you know. So, what I'm asking is, you watch this video. We are in the shit, big time. And it couldn't have come at a worse time for me, for all sorts of reasons, personal reasons, business reasons, whatever, you know, but nothing ever comes along at the best time, does it? When anything goes wrong, it comes along at the wrong time. Always is, for anybody. Like always, I say, mustn't grumble. There's always someone worse off. I think we can deal with this, and I really do believe we can. I think I can trade in and out of insolvency, because at the end of the day, insolvency means this: I owe somebody some money. If I can defer that debt for a little bit longer, I'm no longer insolvent, and I'll go on to explain some of that. What puts me in an insolvent position immediately is I find myself in a position where I've got about £5,000 worth of debt on the table, and I can't pay that right now, and it needs to be paid right now. So that puts me in a bad position. Does it mean I'm not taking investment? No, of course I'll still take investment of some description if anybody wants to help us out in that respect. By coming up with a significant amount of investment, for example, if I came up with about 20 grand, then that will guarantee seeing us for a few months while we get other things in place. So, you know, we've lost an awful lot of income, a phenomenal amount of income. At one point, we did 10 grand a day on eBay. That was our biggest one, 10 grand in a day. Not 10 grand a day, but our biggest one was 10 grand in a day. That was our biggest day's sales on eBay. £40,000 in a month on eBay was done quite regularly. As well as Amazon and our own website and all of the things that we were doing. Unfortunately, we've lost a phenomenal amount of sales platform. We were one of the first VIP members on eBay, and we had a significant reach on eBay as well as Amazon and all the rest of it, and all of that is gone. And it's difficult replacing that. It's difficult replacing that partway through a business, whilst all the hassles have been going on with 288 Group, Royal Mint, etc. Not blaming any one specific thing. I'll be clear about one thing. The only person I blame all the way through is me. I'm responsible. No one else will be getting the blame for the position that I'm in. Let me be clear about that. I'm responsible. I'm the one who's got to deal with it, and I'm the one who's got to handle it, and I will handle it, and I will deal with it. And I'm going to find a way of trading out of it. But right now, I'm in it, right up to my neck. And I need to fix that as fast as I can. I'm going to go on to explain a few things. And I've cut the video about a bit in order to try and make it easier. And some of this video I sent a video out to the CJs, and I've used some of that because some of it actually applies. Where I'm talking to the CJs, I'm actually also talking to you. Those of you that have been using the streams, etc. And here's a funny thing, you see. At no point was YouTube an income stream for us. At no point have we ever relied on YouTube for a single penny. Now we are all of a sudden, out of the blue, relying on YouTube along with our own website, because that's all we've got left. YouTube and our own website. We are trying to fix some issues with eBay and so on and so forth, but that's all we've really got left at the moment is YouTube and our website. So we're in a position of relying on YouTube now to a point where we've never relied on it before. That's scary. The other thing is, because we've got YouTube and because we've got the CJs on YouTube, it means that there is always somebody live, or there is somebody live at some point. Not always, because it's not going to be 12 hours a day every single day, even though it has been. There will be days where it ain't. But every day there is somebody going live. You get a notification if you hit the subscribe button and tell it to give you notifications. And you get a notification to tell you that we've just posted, well, we're going live on a video. And you can go into that chat and you can ask a CJ a question. And that helps you get answers faster than what it does if you email John or email TGBCH if we're backed up with emails. And of course, once you've all seen this, then John's going to be overloaded with emails. So the more questions that can be fielded on the live chat, the better. Plus, if you go into the live chat, you know that you're being given up-to-date, truthful information, because nobody is going to be selling any lies down to you. None of the CJs. They have absolutely no benefit in lying to anybody. There's no benefit to them in covering anything up. There is no benefit to them in telling any lies or twisting any information or whatever. They will give you the information that I give them. So whatever information they're giving you, that's coming from me. And if there's anybody to blame for anything that goes wrong with that, that'll be me. But they will be giving you the correct information. So we will give you that information on a daily basis. I'm going to go through the ringer on this. I expect it. I expect some people to get really angry. I expect that, but I will deal with it all. I will deal with, I think the amount of stress this is going to cause me is much better dealt with head on than it is if covering up and lies and all sorts of things come into play, because the stress from that would be just too great. And that ain't my way of doing business. My way of doing business is to be honest and to be straight, to try and be as ethical, as moral and as legal as I can. And the three of them don't always go together, but I do my best to do that. You've all seen that. And I run a pretty straight ship, and I'm not into feeding you full of bullshit or anything like that. I'm into, you know, running a straight, honest, old-fashioned business. In some ways, some of that's come back and bit me on the arse, excuse me. But, you know, I'll deal with it. Not every decision I've made has been the correct one, and I've got to deal with that too. But know this, I'm going to do everything within my power. Absolutely everything within my power. Listen to the information I'm now going to give you, and I'll try and cover everything I can within this video. Anything else that I'm not covering, by all means, come on the live and ask. Try not to tie me up on the phone, because if 20 people spoke to me for half an hour on the phone, that would be 10 hours on the phone. I'm doing this now in the evening. Been trying to do this all day, but I couldn't because I've spent 6 hours on the phone today. So please bear that in mind. I'm not running away anywhere. You've all got my phone number. You all know where I am. You all know where I live. You've all got my Facebook and social media and all the rest of it. So I've always said from the beginning, I ain't going nowhere. I will face out whatever I have to face out. But I do need a break, and I do need a little bit of time in order to make sure everybody gets satisfied. Investors, you may very well get paid a little bit late. You may be a few weeks behind. You may be a month behind on a payment. That's where I am right here, right now. As angry as that might make you, I cannot do anything about that. I need to take on some more cash injection in order to carry on, and that's exactly where I am. So I can only pay out what I've got, and I can't pay out what I haven't. That's where I am. You will get paid. Every investor will get paid. Every person that is owed every single coin will get paid. Don't worry about that. All the help I can get, I'm after. So help we can get on the streams. The streams now, the live Facebook and YouTube. It's live on YouTube and Facebook every day. And go in and join the streams. And maybe if you've got 10 minutes, pop in for 10 minutes. If we've got an auction going on, maybe have a bid. You know, that kind of stuff. So I'll say more in a bit, but watch the rest. Thanks a lot. And I'm at that serious point where I need to say something to you, because if I don't, you know, I'm going to get a backlash, first and foremost from you guys going, why didn't you tell us? And the thing with business is, up to a point, you can't tell anybody. So, but we're at that point. So I'm seriously in trouble. I'm in more trouble than I thought I was. And I'm trying desperately to get out of it. And the trouble that I'm in is money. I'm in trouble to a point now where, as embarrassing as it is to say this, the funeral is going to be about £8 grand in total. It's £6.5 grand just for the funeral, plus the wake and one thing and another. So we're looking at about 8 in total, I would imagine. And there's only 3.5 in insurance. My brother's come up with 1,500, and I am expected to, quite rightly so, to come up with a couple of grand myself. I'm the eldest. I ain't got it. And the funeral's in just over a week, and I ain't got it. And any day now, I've got to go into the group chat that belongs to my stepmother and my stepbrother and my brother, and I've got to say to them, I haven't got the money. And that is just, from Dad being my first investor, puts me at a point where I just want to dig a hole and put my head in it. So that's the position I'm in right now at this moment. So what am I going to blame it on? Cut to the chase. I'm going to blame it on me, obviously. I have to take responsibility. It's my business. I'm the one at the top. Doesn't matter what mistakes get made. Doesn't matter who makes those mistakes. Ultimately, it's always my responsibility. Just like the recent fiasco with non-con and all the rest of it. That's going to cost me in the region of about 2 or 3 grand, I should imagine. And I have to take full responsibility for that, because everybody will hold me responsible for that. So that's where I am at the minute. So from a fault point of view, from a blame point of view, where's it all gone wrong, what's happened, etc., there is a ton of things that could come into that. And as you all know, the last 2 years, the last 18 months probably, has been the most difficult, what with the illnesses and heart attacks and one thing or another. Pardon me. Not blaming it all on my illness, by the way. But they're, losing eBay, losing PayPal, losing various incomes. We have only one out of all of the eBay agents this is going to just sound ridiculous, but one out of all of the eBay agents has an account that's unlimited. So we've put everything on our website on that one agent's account, and that at least started bringing us in the income again. And then all of a sudden we have problems with that account, and there's eBay glitches going on. And when I say eBay glitches, I mean eBay glitches that are making the eBay agent account $5,000 in arrears. So we have the agent ringing us up going, what's this $5,000 that I owe eBay? And then we have to get the agent to phone eBay to find out that something in eBay's gone wrong. And this particular agent just would be this particular, whether this is happening to any other members, I don't know, but would be happening to the one that we rely on the most. It's all going wrong. There's all sorts of glitches within that, and they're constantly billing him for thousands and thousands and thousands of pounds every month that we don't owe. I'm not just making that up. It is true, and I could probably get the guy to even, back that up and speak about that. But ridiculous as though it sounds, that is something that's going on with that particular eBay account, and that's the only eBay account we can put everything on. So that hits us a problem, and it's just one by one by one by one by one. We've been hit with all of these problems, culminating in the last few weeks, the fiasco with what was been going on overseas, and I don't know, a culmination of all sorts of things that have put me in the position I am now. What I am going to have to do is I'm going to have to try and find a way of trading out of it, and one of the ways, having been through bankruptcy before, and John having knowledge in that area, we are going to be able to put something in place, we hope, that will protect certainly all the investors, and where people have bought advance orders and that kind of thing. I mean, the one thing that I've got that I've been crowing about for a long time, or been quite big-headed about for a long time, is that penny turned into £1 million worth of stock. Well, if I got £1 million worth of stock, then in theory I should be able to trade my way out of it. Hence why I've done some ridiculous deals over this last week to try and claw some extra money in. Now, I've got that stock. There's prints. There's more than £50,000 worth of prints there. £100,000 worth of prints even. I don't know exactly. There's so much money's worth of prints. Now, they are all originals. They are 50, 60 years old. They are exactly what I advertise them to be, and they are the only ones in the world. So I know I can use them, and they're worth the money. Well, they're more worth. I used to sell them at double, so they're worth double what I'm already selling them for, and now we're putting them on a ridiculous sale. So, these make phenomenal presents that are cheap, and so people will get some good deals, and they're not all going to get the same prints. Now, that will help us out greatly, because the money from that will bolster us up. I've got thousands, tens of thousands of coins, tens and tens of thousands of coins, of all different types and descriptions, all different countries, etc. And there's the stamps and all sorts of stuff. So I've got an awful lot of stock at my disposal that I can do a fire sale with. Now, before, when I even mentioned the word fire sale in a bloody video, I wasn't doing one, but now I am doing one. So there is a chance that I can trade my way out of it. There is a chance that I can sell enough cheap stock to bolster up that side of the business. And to a degree, do I even care if I've got rid of every single print and every single foreign coin and every single other coin that I actually wanted to come out of selling in the first place? No, I don't. I don't care. I don't care what price you get for the vouchers to buy American coins, or not American coins, because I want to set that one up with John. The American coins is the one we won't do, put in the vouchers for, but as much as possible. But things like any other country, doesn't matter. You put £30 voucher up and it sells for whatever it sells for. It makes no difference to me, because a lot of that stock cost me pennies. I've got thousands of coins that are priced at 3, 4, 5 quid, 10 quid, that cost me literally pennies. So that's what I'm going to do from that point of view. Now, I appreciate this is going to be a bit of a blow, but if I don't come clean with you right here, right now, the first thing you're all going to say to me is, why didn't you tell us? Now, one reason you might be, why didn't you tell us we could have done more? Why didn't you tell us we could have helped? Why didn't you tell us you bastard. You knew it was happening. Well, now I know it's happening, I'm telling you. Yesterday I wasn't 100% sure, and I need £2 a day from now. Right from now, I need £2 a day. Don't know how I'm going to get it, but I need £2 a day to tide me over. If I don't get £2 a day, then everything starts to fall apart. I don't want it to fall apart. If things do go bad enough that I have to go under and we do have to go bankrupt, there will be things that can be protected. The YouTube channel will be protected, and it will be protected because the official receiver won't take it. And he won't take it because it produces an income, and the official receiver will want me to have an income after I go bust. If I've got an income and that income goes over a certain amount of money, I don't know what that will be at this stage, then anything over that amount of money will go to the official receiver to pay off my debts. That's the way it works. So he and the YouTube is now producing an income. It's only an income of a couple of £100 a month from the advertising, etc. But that's a couple of £100 a month residual income that I've been talking about to everybody, building a residual income. That's a couple of £100 a month that will come in now forever. So that's something that can be built on, and that's not something the official receiver would take away. So the channel can keep going. One way or another, the channel can keep going, and it will only keep going for those of you that want it to keep going and want to continue being a part of it. You may very well take one look at this video and say, oh, bollocks, Ian, not interested, you know. But that has to be, obviously, your decision. I will do what I can to protect everything that I can, including the channel. I think this has been amazing, the community side of it, and what has come out of the channel, what it's done for everybody, I think is amazing. I think we've come close to falling apart a few times, and you have stuck together. You're like a dysfunctional family, no different to my own dysfunctional family. 1 minute you're all having a laugh and a joke together, the next minute you're falling out, the next minute you're patting each other on the back saying sorry and getting on with things, you know. And that's what you lot have ended up becoming, whether you realise it or not. You're just a dysfunctional family that has a little fallout every now and again, but sticks together. Recent events have shown that. So charity money's protected. So things like the raffle that we're doing, Angela's raffle, and the one that Steve's looking after, that's all right, that's protected. The money for that is protected. Anything like that, protected. So no worries on that score. We're not going to drop anybody in the shit there. Your points, protected. You just might have to buy stuff that you didn't particularly want to buy, but you're protected because for as long as there's stuff on the site, you've got something to spend your points on. If you decide to get to a point, like I say, where you say, bollocks, I don't want to do this anymore, then I can't do anything about that. I'm hoping to Christ you don't, but you may very well do that, and I'm prepared for that. And I don't expect anybody to be, spending their time trying to save my business at the end of the day. What we've done so far is one thing, but having you do what you do in order to try and save the business and make sure the wages are paid, I think might be me asking a little bit too much. So I'm prepared for that. The most important thing for me is to pay the wages. Because obviously, if I can't pay Logan can't come to work. If I can't pay John or Kelly, then they can't come to work. And although I'm prepared for that to a degree, things start dropping off to that point, it means I will have to do all the work. And if I'm doing the work, I'll be the last one to go. So if I'm still doing the work, and then I won't have time to breathe almost, because I'll be doing all three of them's job. And that will just, things will slow right down, and I will end up doing that until I can't do it anymore. So that's the worst side of where I am right now. The best side of where I am right now is that we could trade our way out of it. It is possible. And you've all got your own lives to lead. You know, every single one of you have got your own life at the end of the day. And this channel and so on, and some of you, it's almost taken over your lives to a degree. So to be able to, to sort of lay it on you in that sense, and to ask you to sort of be the ones that get us out of trouble is a bit too much. But that's where I am, because Up until recently, our income has been in no way dependent on anything that's been done on YouTube. And you know that. Nothing was expected in that sense. But because we've lost all the other avenues of incomes, we've lost Amazon now, we've lost eBay. We've lost Amazon. Amazon we knew would go because it was linked to eBay, etc. But and it can't be linked to our shop, which causes a massive problem. So Amazon is gone, eBay is gone, PayPal is gone. All these different avenues of income are gone. The brand new coin at the moment is gone. So we are knackered. And the only other way that I would be able to get out of trouble would be to sell more advance orders of things like Snowman and like we talked about before. And I won't do that because I won't do that knowing that we are at this point. Pardon me. Would I take on investment knowing that we're at this point? Legally, I would have to, because I've got a legal responsibility to do everything I can for the business. So yes, I would, because again, taking on investment would get us out of trouble. And all we need to do is get out of trouble for the foreseeable, because we've already invented and made our own product that works. I mean, I got up this morning and found someone had paid 50 quid cash for a COA Gruffalo. So it does work. But because we haven't got in the papers, because we haven't got that extra publicity, we haven't sold out. Now, in theory, if we'd have got the same publicity over the Gruffalo that we got over the Peter Rabbit, which every one of us expected to get exactly the same, if not better, we haven't. And therefore, I haven't sold out of the Gruffalo. That makes it difficult for the next one. So we obviously need more customer base. We obviously need more people to know about it in order to buy the product out. Like any collectible item, it doesn't matter what that collectible item is. Its value only goes up and holds once you've sold them all out. If you don't sell them out, then you've still got them. And so therefore the price doesn't go up. Once you're sold out, then the market takes care of itself. And that's when people are interested in the next one and the next one. Well, we sold out the Peter Rabbit. That got people interested in the Gruffalo. We need to sell more of them in order to pay for the stunts. But that means harder work in selling more, and you need more people. So I'm not blaming it on any of that, by the way. I'm just saying, you know, we have developed our own product. We've proved the ephemera side of things with the packaging. We've proved the thing with the coin and the fact that it will sell at that price. But we haven't attracted a sponsor yet. So that means we're self-financing everything. I just think it's a catalogue of things that have, you know, a catalogue of things that have gone wrong, one after the other, after the other, after the other. Including in all of this at the same time as income streams going down. We've got hundreds and hundreds, well, hundreds of items went missing in the post because some packages contain 20, 30 items. So, I mean, there's hundreds and hundreds of items went missing in the post that we had to pay for, replace. And considering we'd sold a lot of those packaged products quite cheap anyway, and people have bought them with their points, we're now replacing those products free of charge, naturally, because it's not the customer's fault. And that cost us a lot of money. So there's been an awful lot of money cost us that I've not been able to claw back. And the only reason I can't claw it back is because we haven't got a proper income stream now. The only income stream we've got is from our site, and that is only known by the people that have joined our site. Therefore, you're in the position of selling the same stuff, the same items in effect over and over again to the same customers, because unless you've got brand new items coming on board all of the time, you're not selling anything different to those customers. So the position it puts us in is a really difficult one. And I think to come at now, or the timing of it, couldn't be worse in a lot of ways. I would prefer us to do a live for a few hours, go live as a group, as a team, all four of us, and answer questions from anybody, members, anybody, and talk about what's gone wrong, what hasn't gone wrong, where we are, what we need to do, etc. Because if I do go under, I already know that I've got to do it online. I mean, I've essentially bared my soul anyway on video over the last couple of years, what with the illness and one thing and another. So even at a point where I thought I was dying. So I've got no choice but to wring myself inside out on video. Fran's not looking forward to that. I don't see any other choice, because if I do anything else, if I don't do it all on video all the way through from beginning to end, and maybe out of it again if I'm lucky, then people will think I'm running away, and I don't run away. So I don't have any other option as far as I can see, apart from facing it like a head on and take what comes. And so to that end, need to start as you mean to go on. So that's what I'm hoping for tomorrow, and I could do with all the help possible for anybody that happens to be online to maybe help moderate, etc. I don't want to be blocking people that are angry. I don't want to be blocking people that call me a robbing bastard or anything like that. I want to be able to have the conversation with them and let them call me a robbing bastard if that's what they need to do. I'm not going to rob anybody. Everybody will get their money back one way or the other. Even the investors will get their money back one way or the other, and they'll get what it is that they were promised. So will all the people that paid for advance orders. Nobody will get stitched up for a single penny. Might take me a while to sort every single person out, you know, but I mean, there's an awful lot of people that will be owed money, like on advance orders, that will be quite happy to just swap that 20 quid for 20 quid or for something else, and, you know, job done. We can create them voucher codes and they can go and spend the 20 quid on something else, or we'll give them a bit more. So I have no problem doing that, because I know I've got enough stock to be able to supply everybody that wanted to be able to spend it in points. The more people that do that, the less debt we have. The less debt we have, the less chance there is of us going properly bankrupt. Even if I go bankrupt, there is still a chance that the official receiver will let us trade as a team and as a business. So it might be that we can keep our jobs as long as I can keep the income coming in. At the moment, I need £2 a day. If we go bust, then that income will probably go down to about £600 or £700 a day is in what we would need, because what we would need to pay out would be less, because a certain amount of stuff would be taken care of in a bankruptcy. So, and I have to be very careful about how I tread, knowing that I'm in an insolvent situation. Where we are right now is an insolvent situation, and you are allowed to trade whilst you're insolvent. So there are things you're not allowed to do whilst you're insolvent, and there are things you are allowed to do whilst you're insolvent. But as of now, today, I'm in an insolvent position. And an insolvent position means, legally, that you cannot meet the responsibilities that are on the table today. So, for example, you get a £50 electric bill land on your doormat today, and all you've got in the bank is 30 quid, and you've got no way of paying that £50, you are in an immediate insolvent position, legally, right? Legally, you're in an insolvent position. You ring up that electric company because you've got a bill that's on the table that must be paid today, and you can't pay it today, so that makes you insolvent. So you ring them up and you say, blah, 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 I've got problems. And they go, no problem, give me 20 quid and we'll put the rest on till next month. Now you're not in an insolvent position, because any debt has been deferred. Therefore, it is not due today because it's been deferred. So for as long as I can do that, we stay out of an insolvent position. So that could mean we go into an insolvent position, we speak to people, we come out of it, we go into it again, we speak to people, we come out of it, and so on for a while. But even in a full bankruptcy, it is still possible that we would be allowed to trade and be allowed to run a business, and we would still be allowed to have some wages. Not have to take a cut in wages, obviously, if we can. But, you know, all of these things we've got to sort out later. Right now, they're all bridges I can't cross right now. Right now, my number one priority is to cover the wages. That is my number one priority, cover the wages. The next number one priority is to cover bills and investments. Profit, who cares? That comes later. They're the priorities at the moment, because if I don't pay the wages, then I haven't got the people to do the work. And if I haven't got the people to do the work, then the cogs start going out of sync and slowing down and stopping. So the only way that I can continue trading and continue in business is if I can continue paying the wages. And the only way I can do that is to bring in £2,000 a day. So that's the position I'm in. I am gutted. I'm amazed I've got through this video without blubbing. I think it's because I'm just so focused on knowing where I am and what position we're in. And I'm focused now on damage control and damage limitation as much as I can. My fight with 288 Group and Royal Mint will just have to come later, because right now all I can care about is paying the wages and keeping the business going. And as long as I can keep the business going and the investors paid, then everybody's happy. And as long as everybody's happy, we can stay in business. So that's sort of where I am. I'm really sorry. I'm sorry to be dumping this on you. I'm sorry to be dumping this on you after so many of you have probably felt like throwing in the towel 20 times. I am appreciative of every single second, of every minute, of every hour you have taken out of your lives to spend on this channel, to spend in front of a camera when you could have been sitting there watching TV or having a cuddle up or playing with children or whatever. So I cannot, the words can't express how grateful I am, and we are, that you've all spent so much time and put in so much hard work. Even, I mean, the merchandising, you know, what a time for that to come out. But again, it is something that the official receiver would let us keep. And that's worth bearing in mind. So any work that we get done on that merchandising thing, any ideas that are thrown at Matt, any work Matt's had time to do, of course Matt might decide he don't want to do anymore, but you know, if we can keep that going, the more stuff we can add to that merchandising platform, we don't have to pay for any of that. It's just, we don't make a fortune on it. I think the t-shirts we make a £5 on, and the mugs we make £3 on or something like that. But the point is, if that grew, you know, then you got into a point where you were selling, because you got 200,000 subscribers, so the thingy says we'll have by next year, then if you're selling 100 mugs a week, you don't mind making £3 a mug, you know, 300 quid a week. So all of that work is not wasted, because the official receiver, if we end up going that far, would let us keep something like that. So with all the things that the official receiver would let us keep, there is a chance that we can not only go trade in and out of insolvency, maybe go bankrupt, but still trade out of the bankruptcy and carry on. It's things like, what would get lost is things like loans, any loans that I've got, stuff like that, would just go out the window and things like that. But the investments and the people that have paid money and so on, I think I've got enough stock to cover that, and I think we would be able to trade out of the issue in order to supply all the investors. Worst case scenario, maybe a few investors get paid late, but as long as they get paid, I'm sure they will be fine with that, especially if they know we're in trouble. All right, many thanks. Thank you very much. Even if any of you go, enough's enough for me, I don't want to do it anymore, that's fine. I won't hold any bad feeling over that whatsoever. You will always have my undying gratitude for the work that you've done, and the help that you've given, and the part that you've played in this little bit of history. And it is a little bit of history as far as I'm concerned, and it will go down in history. I think all of us will go down in history a little bit, you know, but a little bit in history, I think that's something to be proud of. I'm very proud of you, each and every one of you, of what you've achieved. I'm just really, really sorry that I've ended up letting you down. And that's probably one of the hardest things, is knowing that I've let so many people down. It's not just a case of 4 people anymore. There's more than 20 people like you that just do so much. So I am so sorry to have let you down and got to this point. And I'm hoping I can trade us out of this situation. And sorry to have taken up so much of your time watching this, but I didn't know any other way of doing it. I don't really know what else to do. I'm a fighter, and all I've ever done is fight my entire life. So I need to carry on fighting. So just to catch up a little bit on where we are. Not you, Kelly, I'm talking on a video. Just to catch up on where we are. Another thing that's going to come out of this is, in my daft way of liking to be the first to do something or doing things that nobody else has done before, I don't know anybody, any business that's ever gone through or gone into insolvency or tried to stave off bankruptcy or got into financial trouble, etc., and literally just gone online, gone public, and gone to their customers and gone, sheet of glass, this is the situation, this is what it's like, and this is how we're dealing with it. I don't think that's ever been done before. And if nothing else, you know, this whole thing may even get used as some kind of a learning curve, educational tool, training thing, because as we do it, and as I bring myself inside out online, other people are going to be able to see it, and they're going to be able to see what we're doing, how we've done it, how we've got into this situation, the fact that we're not hiding it, the fact that we're being honest about it, and all the things that we're doing in order to rectify the situation. And people will be able to learn by that. Whether we go completely and utterly bust and out of the window one day or not, that remains to be seen. As far as I'm concerned, no chance, because I'll just work and try and make it work. So I don't give up. I don't like giving up. So there's no chance of giving up. So it's just a case of making it work. Other people might be able to see that, might even learn something, might even help them stave off going under themselves, you know, by seeing how somebody else got into trouble, come clean and fixed it. So please also bear in mind, we are now completely reliant on 2 streams of income, our website, YouTube. At any time of the day, if you've got a question to ask, have a look, see if there's someone on. Because you can literally log on to YouTube, go onto a stream, ask a question, and you've got your answer immediately. Whereas emailing John could take a little while. See what I mean? Another thing I've been thinking of lately is sorting out doing a crowdfunding campaign or doing some kind of Kickstarter campaign. Now, I remember, this is one that stuck in my mind for a long time. There was this chap in America, and he tried to make, what he wanted to make was this little credit card leather wallet. But it was only small enough and thin enough so that all it would hold would be a card, one of your debit cards or a credit card, and maybe literally just 1 or 2 folded up notes. So it was for people that wanted to go out with virtually no money on them and stuff, wallet, whatever. Anyway, it was only a simple little idea, and he wanted to raise somewhere in the region of about 30 grand in order to rent a place and set up his little factory. Cut a long story short, by the end of the campaign, he'd raised over £360,000. He didn't, now he's got the money to not just rent a building, he's got the money to go and buy a building. So he was sorted. So these sorts of things are possible. There's all sorts of ways of getting out of it. I could do with somebody that actually knows. I know a little bit about crowdfunding. I've done it through crowdfunding ways, but I've never gone down the road of the Kickstarter, and there's other websites out there as well. There's other crowdfunding sources like crowdfunding shares, that kind of thing. And there's always the opportunity of turning it into a limited company and then selling everything to that limited company so that it can carry on. There's a ton of ways of dealing with this. The most important thing is to come clean with everybody. Be honest about the way that you're trading. That's the thing. Hard thing to do, you know, but it's got to be done. Now, since making this video, I have actually covered the funeral. I've mentioned earlier on in the video about the funeral, and I was embarrassed about that. But I've had some help over the weekend, and John came in. John White, which works for us, he came in and actually spent a load of his own money. He bought £5 grand's worth of vouchers that he redonated back to the site for us to raise more money with for something or other. and that was fantastic. So a lot of people did a lot of things, and I managed to raise what I needed to raise to pay my end of the funeral. So I'm really grateful for that. I'm really pleased for that, and for anybody that, you know, bought into that over that weekend, thank you so much. So we've covered that, and is there anything else to cover? Yeah, raffles. Now the raffles that we're doing, as far as I know, they're fully legal. I've run into problems with the Gambling Commission on something I did before, and there's nothing in our raffles that would bother the Gambling Commission. You know, there's nothing there that would interfere or cause us any problems with the Gambling Commission. So I know we're okay there. There will be now a little bit of extra money go on the raffles. That's to help us pay off and give us a little bit of extra income to pay off whatever we're paying off. So if something has a retail price of 75 quid, it will probably go up for 150 quid for the tickets. I'll be straight about that. Another thing I'm going to be straight about is we've been talking about the package coins and so on. One of my biggest mistakes, and I just hold my hands up and go, yeah, it was one of my biggest mistakes, was to try and even bother competing with the Royal Mint or Change Checker. That was probably my single biggest mistake, was to try and compete with them and bring the prices down. I should have just stuck with it, because there's no way that we can make any money, especially when we're paying 7 quid for this and selling it for 8.5 quid and letting people use points. The points are free anyway, so ridiculous. And there were people that had lots and lots and lots and lots of points, and they just bought package after package after package after package after package after package after package, and it just cost a lot of money. I'd have been better off saying to those people, to be honest, give me X amount of points, I'll give you this cash, because it would have cost me less money. So all sorts of things, you know, have gone a bit wonky. We've had false accounts, we've had people ripping us off, you know, those sorts of things make a difference. When you get to a point and you've got a figure on it and you go 5 grand, you know, it's like the point at which I'm embarrassed. For another 5 grand, I wouldn't be embarrassed at this point. And then you look at how much money you lost in people ripping off with different accounts, or you look at how much money was lost in sending out parcels and then having to replace those parcels, which I talked about earlier. And of course then there's the other area of replacing the parcels and people then ringing us up and going, Ian, I've received the second parcel and I've also received the first one. And so they very nicely let us know and would send us parcel back or whatever. And there are some people out there, naughty, 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 you received the second parcel and you didn't tell us. And we know that. We know that there are people out there that said they had a missing parcel because it turned up late, when in actual fact we sent out a replacement, they got the replacement and then afterwards got the original parcel and didn't tell us. We know that's happened too. And we know some of the people that did it, but we can't say anything because we can't prove it. So you know, all sorts of problems like that. And so when I do the raffles, you know, I might put that up for 40 quid for tickets or something, you know, because the extra money's just going to go and help us towards paying off or whatever. When I put these back up for sale, they're going back up for sale at the proper retail price. I am not ever again going to bother trying to compete with 288 Group and the Royal Mint. I'm just not going to bother even going. No matter how much money I get, I won't compete with them. I'll do it in a different way. I'll moan at them. I'll take them to court. I'll do something, but I won't compete with them, because compete with them, that's just self-mutilation. That's just suicide. And I'm stopping that right now. So when I put things back, if they cost me 7 quid, I'm going to do 2.5. That's going to be, you know, and that's what it's going up for. If it costs me 6 quid or 5 quid, it's going up at 2.5. Proper retail price. That is retail. That's what it should be. And that means people will go in their droves and buy from 288 Group and Royal Mint, and so be it. They want that business. They want to compete for that business. They want to sell it for that low price. That's up to them. Let them do it. I'm not going to. You know, I'm going to have a price. Stuff's going to start going back on our site. Packages and all sorts of stuff will go back on our site, but it's going back up at the right price. And if people want to use their points on it, they can. But I'm not competing and giving all these points away just for people, not all, but just for some people, to just rinse the arse out of the packages and just everything that they can get in that respect. It's like, well, no, that's not what I designed the points for. I didn't design it for that. You know, when I designed the points as a free giveaway, a free little thank you, a loyalty thing. But we didn't know we were going into the package coin market then. So there you go. So this has been a massively long video, but you now know where I stand. I am up for the fight, and I am ready for the fight, and I'll have that fight. And that will even involve having a little bit of a fight with 288 and the Royal Mint, because we'll now take a couple of legal actions. We've got the time and the space to do that now. Sounds crazy because we're skint, but there are certain legal actions you can do to start it off without it actually costing you any money, if you know how to do it and what to do, which I've now sorted out. So that's another thing that I shall be doing. And we won't be suing them for one massive amount. We'll just be suing them for smaller amounts, but we'll sue them in sections. Sue them for that, sue them for that, sue them for that, sue them for that. And that way it costs us nothing, it costs them a lot of money. So that sort of thing's going to be happening. So I am ready for the fight. And if you would really like to support us in some way, I'll tell you something else I'll do as well. If anybody out there wants to invest in us, use the admin link, put in a message in to say it's an investment, and put it in a message in to say investment at 30%. I will up the percentage quite simply because I'm desperate. And I'll be completely honest about that. If anybody wants to throw money at me and think, well, I could lose this, he could go under, but I'll give it a chance, I'll up the percentage to 30%. So 2 years, exactly the same, but instead of 25% each year, you get 30. So if you fancy taking a chance and taking a risk and helping us out the shit, I would be very grateful. Other than that, that's it. I will be coming on the lives. We will all come on the live as a team this week or something, and or next week. But I will be coming on the lives virtually every day, and all you got to do is come in. And if it's urgent, if it's really, really urgent, just come into a live and ask the CJ to text me and ask me if I can come on live because it's urgent. And I would come in and join them because I can do that from my phone. It's really easy, this StreamYard business. So so please support the channel and support the website. There is, if you ever wanted to do something for us, or, you know, now's the time to share something and get some other people involved and bring some other people over. If you've got balls the size of cannonballs and you're really, and you've got the money, and if it all went tits up, it's not going to kill you, and you want to have a go at putting some in, use the admin listing, and put a message in to say investment at 30%. That's all you got to put in, investment at 30%, and I'll put a bit more percent in, and I will be very grateful. Now, I don't think anybody's ever asked for investment money like that before, you know, but straight business. It's the best I can do. That's the best I can offer anybody. Straight business, and I'll give you honesty every day. Now, we will go through this. We're going to fight. We're going to get through. We're going to come out the other end. We're going to go down. We're going to go up. We're going to go down. We're going to go up. We're going to go down. And you know, talk about it. You know, you ask the bloody CJs. Oh, are we solvent today or are we insolvent today? We will tell you on that kind of basis, right? If you've ever wanted to be there, fly on the wall while somebody's going through it, this is it. Okay. Thanks ever so much for everybody. Thank you for watching. And for those that stick with us, thank you very much. And for those that this pisses off, I'm really sorry. But you will find I will come through in the end. I always do. Any questions? You know where we are. Thank you very much. Bye for now.